Sodomize me with a shampoo bottle, baby. Anyways, speaking of taking it in the ass, so I had, dude, this has been going on lately, and I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's just I'm getting older. I don't know if it's just I'm pathetic. I don't know, man. But I've been suffering these panic attacks, like at stupid shit too. Like a few months ago, it was probably February. So yeah, it was probably around February. It was around 6 o'clock. It had just started to get dark, and I looked out the window and I'm like, I'm not gonna see daylight for another at least another 12 hours, and I started like, I started to like hyperventilate and have a panic attack where I couldn't breathe. Like sometimes when I think about my mother being dead, I because you gotta understand, everybody's dead, the entire family. Oh, I just found out that my uncle Gene's husband died. He died in January, a few months ago, and basically just me and my father. And I'm not really, he's kind of estranged anyway. He's a strange little man, but it is what it is. So, him and I are like the only two left, and I'm obviously not in proper health. Okay, so I ain't gonna live much longer. Like, I'm surprised I'm still alive today, to be honest with you. So when I think about the fact my mother's been dead for over 13 years, what, 2005? Like, I can talk about it like this, but if I actually think about the fact, if I start to like dwell on it, I start to have a hard time breathing, and it's like I start to have panic attacks and shit. Anyways, like I said, I've been having panic attacks, like legitimate scary shit. Like this isn't just like, oh, blah blah blah, or oh, he's depressed, he's poo poo. No, this is legitimate. Like, I can't control it. It comes on. I mean, it's almost like menopausal bitch syndrome kind of a deal. I mean, people can make fun of it, but it's like, it's scary shit when it happens because I can't control it. I mean, I have to will myself not to let it happen. I feel it coming on and I feel it happening. I have to basically stop in my mind and say, no, you don't do that. Stop that. Now, there's going to come a point when that ain't going to work. But, like, I have to will myself not to have it happen. Well, this next story, it happened twice back to back within like a month. No, probably not even that. Probably within a few weeks. And this goes back to my Amazon story where they started shipping with the regular post office instead of UPS, because UPS would deliver my package directly to my door, where regular mail puts it out in the mailbox, which means I have to, go downstairs instead of the package being right there. I then have to go all the way out to the post box and then come all the way back. Now, having, again, for the sake of this clip, going through it all, having spina bifida, tethered spine, herniated disc, I got the stomach hernia, I got it all basically, and I've been having these spasms in my legs and my lower back, like the whole pelvic region for that matter. Like to the point where I talked about this before. I basically, I kind of blew my stomach out. Is how bad it was. Now, I don't. I have to kind of explain this to go through it. So, like, I'm sitting there in the chair, and it's an electric chair, so my feet are up, and the dog kind of lays between my knees, like between my legs. He lays there in a little ball, and it's just, I play video games, watch movies, or watch wrestling, or whatever, and he lays there and sleeps. Well, sometimes he'll move, or he'll get up, like, he'll put pressure on, like, my thigh region, my legs, or my, I don't say genital region, but that pelvic region, basically. And he'll put a little, bare minimum little pressure. All of a sudden, I start having these spasms to the point where my legs lock out, like they're sticking out straight off of the. You're gonna picture 400-pound person sitting in a recliner chair, and their legs like boing, like literally just sticking up like a dick, right? Just bloop, 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 bloop. They're erect as fuck, and they're spasming to the point where it's like it's pushing down, like on the chair, like to the point where I bent the chair, the electric chair. Now, if you've ever had an electric chair, it takes a lot to bend those fucking things. Like literally, I could probably crack walnuts with my thighs. I mean, that's how bad it is. I say that as a joke, but I mean, we're talking, dude. This shit's like a lot of pressure. I mean, I don't know where this pressure is. I didn't like. I've always been kind of strong, especially in the leg region, but it's some insane shit. I mean, the amount of just force that we're talking about here. Anyways, so instead of pushing down, because you understand, they're sticking straight out and then kind of pushing downward, because it's just the spasm is like, it's like, I mean, imagine your muscles being twisted like a mop and just like, it's just this really like, you have no control over shit. You just have to ride that fucker like a wave, right? Okay. Now, it's insane. I can laugh about it now because I had one like 10 minutes ago. Okay, I'm not going through it right this second, so I can laugh about it now, but it like happens almost every day, 2 or 3 times in fact. So I have to will myself, again, another key word, will, to lift my legs off. And you get a picture of somebody sitting, like they say it's physically impossible to like sit up in bed, like in The Exorcist sort of thing, but I don't know if that's true or not. But it's one of those things where it's like really difficult. So you have to picture somebody sitting in an electric chair with their feet kind of pushed up and then kind of pressing down. So I have to will myself to lift my legs up as they're stretched out. Now, you gotta picture that. So I'm doing like this massive crunch, like to the point where I'm blowing out my stomach, like just ripping the shit out of it. My whole left side was just completely destroyed for like a week, and because it happened numerous times, so it's like it wouldn't heal because it kept happening over and over. And it's like, like I can't even describe. I can't even describe the kind of like spasms and shit that I deal with now. So anyways, I said all that to say this. So I went out to get my mail, and I've been having these problems, okay? Just fucking stupid problems. And like I said, it happened twice. This particular mail incident happened twice. I made a clip about it the first time, but the second time, I'm telling this story, this happened probably 2 weeks ago. In fact, I went out to the mail this Saturday. This is what, now, Wednesday? It's actually still Tuesday, so we're still on Tuesday. So I went out Saturday, and I had to pace myself. I went out, I sat on the stairs, the outside stairs, which I didn't want to do because I don't know because we're renting downstairs, and I didn't want to be like sitting out there because there's a one bedroom, and I didn't want to be like sitting outside the bedroom, and but I had to sit out, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to sit here. And then I'd walk a few feet, I'd stop, I'd just stand there, I'd breathe, I'd take it easy. By the time I got back to the house, it was better that time. But this is like the third time doing it within like a month or two, a month and a half. Probably not even that. Probably about 3-4 weeks, whatever. It's about a month, whatever. But this story that I'm telling right now is the second time it happened. Because the first time, holy shit. But the second time was worse. I don't know how the hell that happened, because I purposely tried to pace myself, but it ended up getting worse. It got worse because it was hotter outside. And anyways, so like I said, Amazon sent my damn packages through the frickin' post box, and I needed what was there. Well, not needed, but I wanted. And I didn't want to wait for somebody to go get it, because, it could be 3-4 days. And then that's if they put it where I can see it. They could be down there, it because sometimes they don't put it where I can see it, and it could be down in 4 or 5 days. So I go, when I come out, I look down the stairs, and it's not there, because I have that bucket lift right there, so there's a big hole, and I can look down at the other set of the stairs. And sometimes, like I said, or they'll put it off to the side, like on the other side of the wall where I can't see. So I look down, there's nothing there, but it's actually out of sight, or it's somewhere downstairs. I went downstairs last week and a half, and there's like 5 comic books sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck? They were hoarding them, and nobody thought, gee, why don't we bring it over there where you can see the fucking things? But whatever. So I want my stuff, basically. I bought it, I want it. Fuck you. I'm like, alright, fine. I'll go out there. And no, because like I said, I got the physical problems. I got the issues. I made it to the mailbox. I got my stuff. And I start going, because we're on that hill, and like as you're going toward the mailbox, the right side, it's the hill, you can't see. And of course, way down yonder, there's always, every time I go out, there's fucking somebody riding up the fucking road, always like clockwork. It's like the goddamn Truman Show. They see me, and they know that I'm going out there, and it's like, oh, cue the traffic, and they just all come It's like, no, it's like fucking Macy's parade sometimes. And it's like, are you kidding me? Ain't nobody driving up down this fucking road all day except the minute I go out there. Honestly, God, it's like the Truman Show. So I have to be careful. Because I'm not going to, like, if I see somebody down there, I'm not going to go across the road, get my mail, turn, and wait for them to come up. I'm just going to wait for them to, go through. Then standing there hurts my back, hurts my legs, and so on and so forth. And because you understand, there's like so much energy in the tank. Like Dale T doesn't understand. My father doesn't understand. He's like, well, if you go outside and walk around the house, you do it once today, you do it twice tomorrow, and next thing you build it up. He doesn't understand it. It isn't building up. What it is, there's only so much energy in the tank, and once that energy's gone, I'm on the ground, collapsed. Like my lower back, like the sciatic nerve area, I would define it like this. Like if you've ever taken one of those paint rollers and you painted your ceiling, and then the next day your shoulders are so sore that you literally can't lift your arms up over your head to put your shirt on. That kind of, I want to move, but my body's like, nope, fuck you, you're done. You ain't moving, you ain't lifting your arms up. Now imagine that, where it's like you physically are so strained that you can't. Now apply that to your lower back. And like your whole midsection back there, and going down into the hip, down into the ass region, the whole area is like just dead. Like fuck you. It's like no, you want to move? Fuck you. You ain't going anywhere. Like the other day, Jesus, dude, I got up and I was like not even paying attention. I just got up and was walking out to the kitchen. All of a sudden, like my hip, it felt like it just went out of place, and it was like, burp. And my entire leg, my whole right leg, was just like, goodbye, fuck you. I couldn't move. I literally couldn't move my leg. And it was for like a split second though, and all of a sudden, it went back, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I literally grabbed for the wall because it was like I'm gonna fall. It wasn't like I threw it out or anything, but it was something, I don't know, something pulled. I don't know. It's weird shit. Anyways. So I go outside. I get my stuff. I make it back. And I did pace myself. But apparently I didn't pace myself enough. Because as I'm coming back across the road, I can tell somebody's coming down the long way, down from toward town, toward the city, or not city, but the town, and I'm like, okay, shit, so I kind of have to scurry across the road quickly, and I kind of want to get into the driveway, because I don't want to be, like, out there while they drive by. It's just, it's weird. So I kind of quickly went, I moved quicker. I went quicker than I should have. And by the time I got back to the house, because you understand, I had to get back to the house to sit down. There's nowhere to sit down because there was those stairs, and I didn't even think of those. And I kind of had gone beyond the stairs, so it was you know, because once you go past the stairs, like, I'm not going back to go sit on the stairs. I'll just, you know, will myself to get back to the house. And it's, you know, because it's more work to go back than it is to keep going forward, even though, you know, it does more damage going forward. Anyway, whatever. So anyways, I make it back to the house. I sit on the, now I'm sitting on the steps. Now, you know how it's set up. There's the three stairs that go up to the landing to the porch, and then it goes up. I think there's what, 7 stairs, and then there's another landing, and then it goes up to the 11 stairs to the top. Well, I'm sitting on the 3 stair, like I'm sitting on like stair 2, and I'm, you know, because I'm resting. I made it back to the house. I got my stuff, and it's like, okay, good, fine. But as I'm sitting there, I literally start feeling my heart pounding in my throat. Like, I can hear it, like, boom, 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 boom. It's just like it happened last time. It's the exact same shit. And it's like, you know, like, WWE used the term, they use the word blow up. Like Ultimate Warrior. Like, when he would run and then do the thing on the ropes. Like, he would blow himself up, like he was out of breath by the time the match actually started, kind of a thing. It was one of those. I could not catch my breath. Like, I was like, like I literally, it was one of those things where I had to breathe shallow because I was breathing so fast that I couldn't take in a deep breath. And because I couldn't take in a deep breath, I started dwelling on the fact I couldn't take a deep breath. And again, I say a fucking again, I started to have a panic attack to the point I'm hyperventilating over the fact that I can't breathe and that I can't catch my breath. Now, think about how that works. You already can't breathe. Well, I shouldn't say you're breathing, but I'm breathing shallow because I can't take deep breaths. Because I'm trying to get myself into a decent rhythm where I can go, you know, I'm taking actual breath instead of, you know, just, okay. So, in other words, I need to calm my shit down so that I can start breathing again and get back into a normal pattern, a normal existence instead of this, you know, hyped up, like, bullshit, right? Well, as I said, I started dwelling on that, and I started to have a panic attack. So then I start hyperventilating over the fact that I'm hyperventilating. And I can't breathe. I mean, do you understand? Dude, I can't explain to you how scary that is. Because what happens is, inside, once I got inside, it was kind of warm and stuffy in there. So I'm breathing in warm, stuffy air, and I can't catch my breath, and I'm having a panic attack to boot. And I can't describe how scary that really is. I, honest to God, I can't. You're gonna see it. Ain't nobody here. There's strangers. I don't know who these fucking people are. There's the people downstairs. Well, there's nobody I can call. I can't even get to a phone to call. I can't even, at this point, I can't even get up and knock on the door and say, holy shit, help. And it's one of those things where I start to panic. It's like, do I sit down? Do I get up and try to climb the 3 stairs and go outside to, you know, get some fresh air? Do I sit here? What do I do? And then I start panicking over that, and it's all this stuff on my mind, and holy shit. Anyways, I found that the first time it happened, I needed to think about something else. And it was ironic, the first thing that came to my mind was frozen pizza. Okay, maybe it's because I'm fat, I don't know, but this time I started thinking about, I was like, okay, what's going on? I'm sitting there, basically hyperventilating, to the point I can't breathe and can't take a breath, and I'm freaking out. I'm literally freaking the fuck out. Like, I don't know what to do. Do I get up? Do I stand? Because it's one of those, I know this is going to happen. The minute I die, like when I'm dying, like the moment it's going to happen, it's going to freak me out. Do I lay down? Do I fall on the floor? Because I don't want to fall on the floor. The floor's kind of dirty. Do I sit in a chair? You know, it's going to be one of those things. Unless it happens instantly, you know. So, like I said, I'm freaking the fuck out. Freaking the fuck out. I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's going on? It was a Tuesday, so I was like, okay. The only thing that came to mind was wrestling. And it was like, okay, Monday Night Raw was yesterday. Tonight is SmackDown. And then I started to get pissed because those two shows are giving me the shits. I can't stand those two shows. I don't want to get into the whole WWE Roman Reigns bullshit. They're using guys nobody wants to see, and the people you do want to see, they're shitting on. And it's just, I started to get pissed, and now I can't breathe. I'm having a panic attack. I'm hyper fucking ventilating. I'm panicking to beyond words, and now I'm getting angry over the fact that it's like, holy fucking shit. Oh, finally I made it to Wednesday night. And I'm like, oh, NXT's on tomorrow. NXT's on tomorrow. And there's this particular wrestler that I really enjoy. I like what they're doing with him. And I like the guy. His name's Adam Cole. And I started thinking about Adam Cole. Because he does this thing where it's like he puts his little hands in here. And he does this Adam Cole, baby. And it's funny because the entire crowd does it with him. So it's funny when you see like thousands of people chant, say that with him. And it's like, I thought of that guy, and as I did, I started to calm down. He literally saved my fucking life. I mean, that's how sad my existence is, that a guy in a wrestling program that I've never met saved my fucking life. Now, I don't know how I'm supposed to, handle that as just, a human being. I don't know how I'm supposed to handle that. Like, I really wish I could go to a signing, get his autograph, and tell him this story. That's how fucked up it is. He literally saved my freaking life. And NXT literally saved my freaking life. I and it's not a joke. I mean, that's what's sad about it. I'm not like, oh, it's, it's like this. Like, I'm gonna post this on Facebook and say Adam Cole saved my life. That's not clickbait. It literally happened. I mean, I'm not making it up. I wish I were, because it would be, fucked up. But dude, that, oh my god, like I said, I can't explain, I cannot express just how scary that moment, it's like, because there's nothing you can do. You realize you can't do anything until you calm down. And the fact you can't calm down makes it so you don't calm down. And the more it happens, and you're breathing in this stale, warm, shitty air, and you're like, I can't breathe, I can't catch my breath. Oh my god, I can't catch my breath. I can't catch my breath. And you add that to the fact that you actually can't catch your breath, and it's just, holy shit. And like I said, I had to take my mind off what was going on, and NXT's been the only bright spot in existence for my wrestling enjoyment, and Adam Cole's been one of the highlights. And I thought of the dude, and he literally saved my freaking life. And like I said, not clickbait. Actually, for once, something like that, somebody saying that, now he didn't do it, directly. It wasn't like I crashed my car and he, came out and, pulled me from the fiery wreck. Although that would be awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Not that actually, that'd be kind of fucked up. You get my point. It wasn't like he directly saved my life, but it was like, holy shit. Because I don't know. I think maybe if I was laying down, like maybe if I had laid down on the, I don't know. I don't know. But it was just the way I was sitting, maybe, or just the whole process. Again, it was so pathetic. I just went out to get the freaking mail, and I got to the point where I could not catch my breath. Because what happened was, on the way back to the house, my back started to tighten up. Which, when my back tightened up, you compensate. Then all of a sudden, the muscles in the leg, the back of the leg, the hamstring and whatnot, that starts to tighten up and like twist and squeeze and like, And I need to sit down. So I started kind of going a little bit faster. Now, you got to keep in mind, I'm not going like fast. I'm not like, the Flash here, okay? It ain't like that. I mean, I'm waddling at a clip for somebody my size, yeah. Okay, which is pathetic. I admit it. Well, like I said, by the time I got back to the house, and everything was all... Because it was like, I have to sit down. I have to get to a place where I can sit down, or I'm going to fall down. I'm going to be rolling around in the fucking ditch, and I don't want to do that. So the closer I get to home, the better. Because there's only so much gas in the tank, so to speak. The quicker I get there, the better. So I basically moved a lot faster. Now, keep in mind, I'm not running. I'm not even brisk walking. I'm not even mall walking. I'm not even doing anything of that sort. I am basically just one-footing it at a time. Like, my life is so pathetic. I literally have to get out of bed, go through the living room, into the kitchen, and sit down in a chair. Okay, and then go from that chair... Well, actually, realistically, I can go outside. I can go out to the deck, which is top level. I don't have to go downstairs to the porch, but I can go to the deck. I can go from like the bed or the chair directly from here outside and then sit out there. But I mean, there are times when I literally have to go from the chair that's outside through the door and sit in the chair that I have on the inside of the door of the deck. Well, I have a chair literally on either side of the door, and I have to go from one to the other because there's that step there, and it like fucks me up. And it's just, I don't know, man. My life is so freaking pathetic that some random wrestling dude saved my life because my life sucks so bad. That is telling. I mean, it's just sad. That is legitimately sad. Okay. And like I said, I'm not gonna live much longer. I understand this. Guys like me don't live into our 50s. Okay. And sure, we don't fucking... Sure shit, we don't live into our 60s or 70s, okay? Hey, dude, if I make it into my 70s, there's a legitimate fucking problem in the universe. Okay? No. I mean, the idea that it's less than... Oh, my God. It's just... seriously, when I think about the fact that in 10 years I will probably be dead, you understand, 10 years is nothing. My mother's been dead for 13. I didn't never think that would ever happen. It was like, okay, well, she died. The next thing you know, it was like, oh, a day later. Oh, it's 3 days later. The funeral's over. Oh, it's a week later. Oh, it's a month later. 2 months later. 6 months later. A fucking year. 5 years, 10 years, now we're pushing almost 15 fucking years since she's been dead. Do you understand it? 15 fucking years, we're almost 15. Do you understand that? It's been almost 15 fucking years. We're talking, 13 right now. It ought to be 14 in January, and this is May, so. I mean, jeez, do you understand that? And like I said, it freaks me out when I think about just the whole thing, and it's just... I mean, I am literally the only one left. My father's out there roaming somewhere, but I am literally the only member of the family left. Because we basically had a close-knit group. We had my mother and her 2 sisters, my grandparents on her side, Dale T, and then my Uncle Paul, Jean's husband. Well, the one sister, Nancy, she died, 81. She's been gone for God knows how long. And then my grandfather died. He died in 93. And then, let's see, my mother died. And then my grandmother died. And then Jean died. And now her husband died. And it literally is just me and Dale T. And Dale T's not in the picture very much. So, the idea that I'm literally the last man standing in this sense freaks me out sometimes. When I really dwell... Like, I can talk about it right now sarcastically, where it's just bullshit. But like, if I actually think about the fact that, I mean, it's kind of freaking me out just now thinking about it. Like, before we were renting out downstairs, I ordered a pizza. It was probably well, no, actually it was summertime. So they moved in like September. I think they should be moving out soon, but we don't know. It's like month by month. They were supposed to be here just until spring, and now it's already May. So June, July, August. I don't know. Whatever. So anyway, like a year ago, basically, I had ordered a pizza or whatever it was, sub or whatever, calzone, whatever the fuck it was, and I decided to wait inside. And I was sitting at the table. Nobody's around. Literally, the table's empty. And it kind of really set in the fact, like I'm sitting there and I'm looking, okay, like my mother used to sit there, Jean used to sit there, Dale T used to sit here, my grandmother was there, my grandfather was over here, and I'm like, I'm the only one fucking left. And I started to freak the fuck out. I don't, it's weird because it's like, I don't know why I'm having these. I mean, I understand, like, just openly, I understand. And, like, if somebody else came to me and said, I was thinking about this, the same thing that you were thinking about, and I started having a panic attack, I would understand that. But for me, I don't understand why I'm having panic attacks. It's like, I get it, but I don't know why it's happening to me. Because it's like, I'm an asshole. I don't care about stuff like that. But yet, somewhere, I guess, deep down, I do. So it's weird to me. It really is. I don't know. I really don't know. Because, man, you gotta think about all this stuff. I mean, like, I was thinking the other day, like, all the stuff my mother had missed out on. Like, when she died, her and I used to watch Stargate. And it was mid-season to season 8. So she never saw the end of season 8, and then 9 and 10 she never saw. Same thing with the spin-off Atlantis. And there's other series, like she would have loved House. She never got to see that. That ran its course for 8 seasons. It's like 8 years, dude. She was in American Idol. That's come and gone. She would have loved Fringe. That came and gone. She would have loved Prison Break. That came and gone. And actually came back. It's just, I think about all the stuff that her and I would have watched, like, all these Marvel movies and shit. She would have loved those. The Batman movies and stuff, and the whole DC cinematic universe and Marvel universe. I just think about all the shit that we didn't experience together, and it's weird because that was kind of our thing. We watched movies together, and because you gotta understand, I'll be dead. Next thing you know, a year after I die will be a thing. 10 years after I die will be a thing. 100 years after I die will be a thing. 1,000 years from now, 1,000,000 years, fuck you. Who the hell knows? I don't know how I'm supposed to take that. Now, whether there's a God, whether there's not a God, I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and debate that. I hope there is. There has to be an afterlife. There has to be. I mean, the consciousness is energy. It's got to go somewhere. It's got to change and become something else somewhere. So, it doesn't just disappear. So there has to be something there. So, it is what it is. But I don't like the idea that shit's gonna go on without me. I'm sorry, that bugs me. That irritates me. That pisses me off, quite frankly. And like I said, I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that fact. Like video games. I don't know, man. It's like for 30 years I helped shape that shit. I mean, maybe not directly, but I buy things, I don't buy things, I'm part of the industry on some level. And that shit's going to go on without me, In other words, there's going to be Zelda games that I'm never going to be able to see. There's going to be Mario games that I'm never going to be able to play. And it pisses me off when I think about the collective universe being a fucking dick like that. I mean, honestly. Like, what did I do to deserve that shit, you know? It's like, another thing, I'm just going to get into, like, God and stuff, but there's... I don't know if I want to get into that. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. It basically, in a nutshell, was talking about like the tribulation and then the 1,000-year reign, because technically the 1,000-year reign would start when Christ puts his little foot down on, back on the mount. But in a way, that's not totally true, because there's a verse where it talks about that everyone will worship God, and there will be people who don't want to worship God, and God will withhold the rain from them so that they won't have food. They won't have crops and shit, and they won't have drinking water and whatnot until they worship Him. And that could take up to a year. I mean, think about it. You could go a month without rain. You go 6 months without rain, because you're going to be like reservoirs and shit. You're going to have, stuff like that. But, a year without rain, it's going to be a big deal. So, I don't know. It's just, I think about stuff where it's like, is God really that petty? Well, apparently he is. I mean, it's like, worship me or go fuck yourself. And basically is it. And yeah, my entire existence is going to be hogtied based upon some spiritual being who felt he had to do what he did. Like, I mean, for example, and I don't mean this blasphemous, but like, what gives God the right to create? Like, what gave God the right to create anything? And then demand worship from it. I just don't understand the almost gall of any being to do that. Now, I understand, okay, we're His creation, we should worship Him. I get it logically, but like, I don't understand it, because I don't demand people worship me. So it's like, I don't understand the whole, this is what we do, this is why you're here, and if you don't do it, fuck you. I don't know. That's just weird to me. It's like God's sole purpose was to create people that simply were to worship Him, and if they don't, then fuck them. I don't know. That's weird to me, though, because it almost feels like God. It almost reminds me of that the Matrix, where they had the human beings as like the batteries, where it's like God, Great Commission, go forth and preach the gospel of Christ, and basically propagate this belief system, almost like a battery, like you're powering it up. The more people you have, the more powerful God is. It's what it feels like, and that's weird. And actually, I'm kind of stumbling around what I'm trying to say here, but it's kind of like when they asked what was heaven was like, and Christ said it's basically like a grain of mustard seed. Basically, the more you believe, the bigger it'll be. Which is weird. I don't know how I'm supposed to take that, because that, I don't know. That's just, it almost feels like it's not a set thing. It's like, it is what it is, but it ain't what anything, and it's not any particular one thing. But again, when you think about it from a long-term perspective, it is what it is, but it isn't what it is, because it is what it is. If that makes any sense at all. In other words, if there's an end to time, then heaven is what it is. But if heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, the more you believe, the bigger it'll be. That insinuates that there's no end to that. But we know that there has to be an end to that. So it's almost, I don't want to say paradoxical, but it's almost, it's weird. I mean, there's no nice way to say that. It's just a very weird situation because I don't know. I'm trying to word it, and it's not coming out the way I want it to. So I may have to make another clip of this when I think about it longer. I just like this whole thing with the Middle East bullshit, the freaking embassy bullshit, the Palestinians and the Israelis, and the Israelis attacking the Palestinians, and I know the Palestinians aren't doing great things, and you know it may have been a little overkill here or there on the Israeli part. You can maybe make the argument. I'm not saying that that they're innocent, the Palestinians, but the Israelis aren't innocent either. But I don't want to sound like I'm condoning. So it's like a catch-22. It's like you hurt me, so I'm going to hurt you back. You hurt them back, so I'm going to hurt you back. It's this constant bullshit. Is what it is. It literally is bullshit. And you got all the evangelicals who are just happy as pigs and shit. Oh, it's fulfilling biblical prophecy. Hey, our guy Donald Trump is so great. Yeah, what if he's the fucking Antichrist? And I don't want to get into the whole, thing about all that because that could be another 6 hours, But I've made numerous clips about that. Again, what was, basically the Antichrist is going to be somebody who comes preaching peace and be given a bow to go out conquering and to conquer. And what was the first thing Trump said in the Middle East? He said we all need to come together as God's children in a peaceful sort of way, and then we're going to go wage war against ISIS. We're going to come together as peace and go wage war. And it's fucked up, dude. The whole thing is fucked up. And you got the Christians who are like, oh, because they think they're going to get raptured out. I think it'd be absolutely hysterically funny if the rapture didn't happen the way that they want. The pre-tribulation people. Because realistically, they're going to get what they deserve. We're all going to get what we deserve. And I think it's going to be a rude awakening when they wake up one day and realize that the guy that they've been, promoting is going to be the guy that they've feared. And because, to be honest with you, pre-tribulation makes no sense to me. And again, I don't want to get into all this bullshit, but Christ set us up with the Great Commission. Go into all the world and preach the gospel of Christ. Again, like a battery, like go and make disciples and go and make, the more, basically shine your light. So the more light there is, the brighter it'll be, kind of a deal. It's similar to that. The more people that are injecting energy to God, it's almost like the stronger he gets. That's what it feels like. It feels like some sort of weird cosmic bullshit where it's like, oh, I'm God, I'm going to create all these people and they're going to send their energy to me and I'm going to be bigger and happier and whatever. And if they don't, then fuck them. I'm just going to completely ruin their existence. And not just this existence here and there. I'm going to send them to hell, and I'm going to take away the rain, I'm going to do all this other bullshit, and I'm basically say, fuck you. But whatever, I don't want to get into that. I don't know, it's just, it's a strange, I keep saying weird, but it is a weird situation, because, I don't know, the idea of God freaks me out. It really does. The idea of anything spiritual freaks me out because I just don't like the idea that they can manipulate me at any twist and turn. I don't care if it's God doing it, like, oh, we love God. Yeah, okay, fine. But the fact that God can fuck with you at the drop of a hat is problematic to me. It really is. Now, I've talked about this before, but we assume that Judas Iscariot went to hell. Why? Because he betrayed Jesus. Yeah, but the problem that I have with that is he is fulfilling God's will. It was God's will that he betrayed Jesus to make the story relevant, to make the story happen, to make him, because he was supposed to die, shed his blood for our sins, and if Judas didn't do that and didn't play his role, then the whole thing would shit the bed. So it's like, are you going to blame the actor for the movie? It's like, oh, well, this actor played a part where he did this horrible thing in the movie, and you're going to arrest him for it? I mean, in real life, that's basically what the equivalent is. You know? Well, you murdered this guy. Like, oh, we're going to take Steven Seagal and put him in prison because he murdered a bunch of people in a movie. Really? I mean, you put him in prison for being an asshole, but that's neither here nor there. That's another story for another day. But, I mean, seriously, that's what it's the equivalent of. You're playing your role in this, made-for-TV Broadway bullshit that we call life, direct-to-DVD bullshit. Okay. Now, if I'm playing my part the way God wants me to play it, and I'm fulfilling His will, why am I being punished for fulfilling His will the way He designed it to be? See, that's the thing. It's like, oh, we're sinners. But again, He designed us to be sinners. No, because if He didn't design us to be sinners, we wouldn't be. So, this idea, well, it's, free will, and you had a choice, and you said no. No, that's not how it works. I didn't have a choice. We were all born in the ditch with our dicks hanging out. Literally. So, why am I being penalized for something I had no control over and had no say over and have no say over? But yet I'm the one being, shit on. He'll take away the rain because he's not worshiping me. Okay, well, praise God. Give me some rain. But the problem is we've seen that kind of mentality never works, yet it's in the Bible. Because what did the Spanish do? What did some of these other people do? It's, you worship Jesus or we're going to kill you. And they're like, okay, worship Jesus. Yeah, but there was no inward change. God knows that, so why is that even in the Bible? The 1,000-year tribute, or the 1,000-year reign. There are going to be people who are not going to worship him. He's going to say, okay, well, I'm going to withhold rain until you do. And then when they do, he'll give them the rain back. No. That didn't change their heart. They're just worshiping him because they want the rain. That makes no sense to me. That makes zero sense to me. Or whenever that's supposed to happen. That makes no sense to me. Because God knows that. God knows it. The same thing with Saul and Paul, went around killing the Christians, and all of a sudden, had a change of heart. Similar concepts. It's about the change of heart. It's not about what you take away from somebody. Oh, you don't worship me, you go to hell. Well, that doesn't change my heart. That just makes me say, I don't want to go to hell. Praise God. That's not actual real praise. I mean, honestly, I gotta be honest, and I know it's gonna sound blasphemous, but I'm having a hard time seeing what is so special about God. And now, I mean that not in a blasphemous sort of way, like, oh, Satan's better. I'm not saying that either. But I'd be honest with you, I really don't see what the big fuss is. I mean, think about it. And a bunch of atheists posted something like this on Facebook, and I have to admit, I can't argue. And it was, basically God set it up and then basically said, oh, by the way, you fucked up, and now I'm going to come and save you. So in other words, he himself set up the reason behind it, and then came and fulfilled what he had set up that we supposedly had fucked up. Now, if he's setting it up from square one, then who really fucked it up? I don't understand that. You know? It's my fault that I'm doing exactly what you made me to do? Well, he didn't make us to sin, we just sinned. Well, whose fault is that? I didn't make it up. It's like these fuckwit developers, you know? I gotta go on Twitter and say, your game fucking sucks, what the hell did you do? And they're like, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't create the thing. You're penalizing me for something that you created. You created a mess, and now I'm the one that can't finish the game. You're the one who fucked it up, yet it's my fault. I don't understand the logic in that. Now, what do we do with that information? I mean, if it's going to be set up in the sense that, okay, we need God because we can't raise ourselves from the dead, okay, fine. I can't physically raise myself from the dead. I need God. I can deal with that. I could deal with that. That doesn't necessarily make me want God more. It just makes me so I don't want to disappear when I die. I want to exist beyond this physical world. It has nothing to do, really, with, oh, I love God, and I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying, really, when you think about it, that's not something that motivates you to say, oh, meh, hook, line, and sinker into the whole God thing. It just doesn't. It really, really doesn't. Like, oh, we're supposed to fear God. Okay, yeah. If the point is we're supposed to fear God because He keeps our very cells, together. He's like the ether that keeps us together. Okay, fine. I fear God. Okay, but as far as like collectively, it's kind of sad. I mean, He literally had to create people so that we could worship Him. That seems kind of sad. And again, I'm not saying, oh, you're being used as the mouthpiece of Satan. That's Satan thinking right there. I'm not saying that either. He's another one who's got problems. He's kind of pathetic too. When you really put it down on paper, that dude is probably the most pathetic of the bunch. Because, think about it. God said, you're going to do this, this, and this, and then I'm going to say, fuck you. So what's Lucifer or Satan do? He does exactly what God said. God said you're going to do this, this, and this. He does that, that, that. And then sits there and he doesn't understand, the time is short. You realize if Lucifer basically just stopped his shit, Satan just stopped his shit, just ended his bullshit right now, it would make God a liar? Now, I suppose on some level, we're already fallen to the point of there's no going back. It may take longer, but seriously, if he used his power for good instead of being an accusing prick all the time, and actually went against the grain and actually did something worthwhile, he would make God a liar. And you know what would happen if God becomes a liar? The whole thing crumbles, the whole thing collapses. But when you're doing exactly what God said you're going to do, you're just proving Him to be true. And I don't know why that is a thing. I really don't grasp that. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, that's weird. Because again, God says you're going to do certain thing at a certain time, in a certain way, and He's like, oh, and he runs off and does exactly what God said He's going to do. I could make God a liar. Assuming I actually had the full faculties of my existence. God says every knee shall bow. I could say no, I won't. I refuse. Stubborn will. I could do that, assuming I actually had the ability to do that. See, because what I think happens is We are set into a course. Everything that's been created is set into a certain course, and I don't think we can deviate from that path. So when it says every knee will bow, because we can't change that. It's like one of those scenarios where you see these people and you hear these stories about like alien abduction, where they're sitting there and it's like, oh, I couldn't move, and they're hovering over me and I couldn't move. It's one of those things where it's like you're powerless to do anything about it. Now, you know, if God showed up right here and said, worship me, or whatever, like, no. I could willfully say that. I'm not saying I will or that I would, but I'm saying you could. But again, at the end of the day, every knee is going to bow, so every knee is going to bow. It's set up that you can't win. So the whole thing is bullshit. It's all bullshit. It really is. And I don't know. It's like I kind of lose a little respect for God on that level. Because I'm a sinner because you set me up to be an asshole? I don't get that. I'm doing what you programmed me to do. Collectively. You put me in this world. You gave me likes and desires and things that God himself brought into my life to shape me who I am, and now all of a sudden I'm a bad person because I was shaped by those things that he put into my life? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Like okay, you send a trial and you're supposed to be like, oh, you got a flat tire today and you're late for work, and you got to be nice to the tow truck driver even though he's being a prick. And God will smile upon that and bless you because you were, like when Jesus looked down from the cross and like prayed for the people who put him there. He's like, Father, forgive them for they don't know what they do, kind of a thing. And it's like we pray for the tow truck driver. I pray for him. He don't know what he does because he's an asshole, and I don't want to judge him. And one of those things, like you got to be the better man. Okay, maybe if you said I put all these things in your way, and instead of becoming what you became, you were supposed to become something better, and so you fell short of what I wanted for you. I could maybe get that, but I don't know. The whole thing is just the whole process is set up so that we are going to fail. Not that we will fail, but we are going to fail. Even if we held out to like the nth degree, we're still going to fuck it up at the last moment. Even if we had that ability. So, I don't know. I don't like being powerless in a sense of that type of thing. Now, I'm not saying I want to buck the system and go against God, but to be forced to do something against my will, I don't appreciate that. Well, it's not your will, it's his will. Okay. But again, at the end of the day, what's the point? It's like if God is going to make every knee bow, whether you want to or not, or he's going to take the brain away and you have to worship it, then do we really exist? I mean, do we really actually exist? I don't know. Because when you actually read, like, tribulation and end time stuff and, the millennial kingdom stuff, it paints a really creepy picture of God is basically going to take away our sin. Well, we are who we are because of our sin. So if he takes it away, then what's left? Jesus is the only thing that's left. So again, do we actually exist? If you take the obstacles, and I've used the consciousness concept as like, what do you call those little mega blocks where they do the thing and they'll drop a ball and it'll go down the little slot and it'll go through a cup and thing here, thing there, like that opening sequence of the gate in Goonies where the balloon fills up, pops, the chicken drops the egg, the thing, and Chunk is out there shuffling, and then the gate opens up. It's one of those things. That's kind of how the consciousness is, where you throw in all those trials and tribulations, and okay, you passed that trial, but you didn't pass this trial, and you let this trial get to you, and then, that flow kind of goes through these things, and it becomes who we are. So I may have proclivities, like, well, I don't know, I like to play video games and, watch porn, simply because, that's how the world treated me. You know, some people might not, They might not have the same things, or they have other things. So that's kind of how the consciousness works as far as I'm concerned. And I could be wrong on that, but that's just how I view it. It literally is just like this little funnel, like one of those little sippy straws with little curls on it, little curly sippy straws where you see the water go up the little curlies. It's kind of like that. It's following those particular patterns that we have set for ourselves. But did we really set those things? So if you have this base consciousness and you take away all the things that made it interesting and made it different, like, for example, I say fuck. You take that away. Am I really me if I don't say fuck? I don't know. Am I really me if I don't watch wrestling? Am I really me if I don't play video games? I mean, seriously, am I really me if my sole purpose is, oh, praise God, praise God, praise God 24 hours a day? I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily, but is that actually me? I don't know. So again, do we actually fucking exist on any level? Because if consciousness comes from, like, the source, being God, and it's literally a part of Him, and it's being manipulated by sin to create our individual beings, you take that away, you take that energy, you put it back into the source, it changes back into what it originally was. Again, are we there, or do we even exist? So when I die and my, consciousness wakes up and I'm in another place, whether that's with a spiritual body or otherwise, is it really me? Or am I dead? It's like the Christian concept of killing the old man. It's like killing your old self and being a new creature. So if you're a new creature, then are you really the same creature, or are you different? Now, for example, you got the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. Is it the same creature? Yes, technically. But they're two different things. They're completely two different things. They may have the same DNA to some degree. It'll actually be slightly tweaked, obviously, because it has to be. But you know what I mean? It's the same thing. It didn't, like, one thing come out and then something else comes up. But they're two totally different things, so it's kind of a kick in the pants when you think about it. So we die, we then become something else. But again, is that something else really us? When all of our understanding was, being like the caterpillar, scurrying around on a whole bunch of little legs, whatever the fuck it is, eating dirt and, eating branches and shit, or whatever the fuck they eat. Limbs and trees and leaves, or whatever the fuck it is. As opposed to, flying around. Is it really the same creature? Its perspective is way different. It's going to treat the world differently. Like the caterpillar can run out in the rain. Butterfly can't. Butterfly goes out in the rain, it's fucking going to die. Because it can't fly, therefore it's going to get eaten, it's going to be dead. It's like, oh, I've turned into this magical butterfly. Flapping around, all of a sudden the fucking rain comes and fucks it up. So, but again, at the end of the day, I fear the fact that I will not exist after I die. I mean, at some level, I think it's actually true. You die, that's it. You no longer exist. Now, a variant of you may exist, or some, example of you may still, haunt this existence, haunt this reality. But, again, I don't know. Again, if we take the evil out of us, everything that we do that's evil, Whether we acknowledge it or not, like for example, watching football, that's technically evil because you're not praising Jesus. And it's, a human, earthly thing to be like, oh, I'm rooting for these guys and not the other guys. Now, if you're a good Christian, you should be rooting for the other team, saying, well, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So technically, again, you watch football, you're evil. Now, you take that out, what is there to watch? There's no competitive. There's no competition in God's kingdom in that sense. It can't be. So, again, it's like you take away what the person is it really the same person? You may recognize them visually, you may recognize them conceptually, but it's just an empty husk, an empty shell of what they originally were. So, I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that. Like, how much of us does exist after we die? I don't think there's that much there. I really don't. Because, now granted, I think our entire understanding of the universe will obviously expand. So therefore, it'll be like, okay, well, football doesn't matter because, there's gazillions of planets out there that we could, explore. Who's got time to sit there and watch a stupid wrestling program, when, I don't know. Like, for example, I don't think you're gonna, in fact, I know for a fact, you're not gonna have capitalism. There's not gonna be capitalism in the kingdom. There's not. People are gonna be making money off other people's suffering and trying to swindle people out of money. There won't even be money. So again, that's a whole other thing that people are going to have to get rid of and understanding. And because it's not about me, it's about you and what can I do for you. Because if God, listen, if God died for me where I was, where I was at in my existence, then how can I look at you and say, you owe me $20? You do owe me $20, by the way. Fuck you. You owe me a lot, you bastard. I'm still pissed off about the Genesis. Don't even get me started with that. I think about some of that shit, because I had a really nice collection. You completely raped it, and it pisses me off. Oh, it really angers me. Oh, dude, I had Shinobi, I had the entire Sonic collection. I had the X-Men games. Oh god, I want to play those games again. And you fucking ruined it. You just completely ruined it. I hope you feel guilty, motherfucker. I really do. I hope you feel guilty, you bastard. Speaking of which, I guess there's going to be new NES minis on June 29th. Like GameStop or wherever. You might want to check that out, you prick. Anyways, but again, ultimately, it comes down to what are we and how do we survive after we die? And I'll be honest with you, I don't think we do. Because I don't want to be some random... seriously, if you look at Satan, who can't break free from... He's got power, but he can't break free from what he's meant to do. I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to say, no, I don't want to worship God. And I don't mean that in a blasphemous sort of way. I know it sounds blasphemous. You don't worship God, that's blasphemy. I mean it in the sense of... Well, I mean it exactly how I mean it. I want to be in a place where I can say no. But on the flip side, and say yes because I actually want to. Which I guess is what we've got right now. I guess. I guess that's where we're at right now at this point. But then there's going to come a point where that option is taken away, and I don't understand why that's taken away. It's like, is God really that petty? That almost seems kind of sad. It really does. Because if we are from a collective consciousness thing, basically God is just trying to spread himself throughout the universe. You know? And, like, you got a what if scenario. For example, you read the Bible, God came to the darkness. The darkness was always here. We have this light and dark concept, and let there be light, and there was light. Well, there couldn't have been light if there was, not darkness. So the darkness was here before him. In other words, evil was around before God showed up. Now, I don't know what to make of that. Because we assume and we're told that evil originated with Lucifer in heaven. But now we're looking at it from a linear time perspective as well, too. I mean, really, the only time matters is when you enter this time stream that we're in right now, currently. Time and space essentially being one and the same. Time is space, space is time in a sense. I mean, I'm simplifying that, obviously, but you get my point. So if you don't have a physical body, you're not really bound by time and space. Because space doesn't matter. Because there's no matter to matter. So, when you put that into perspective, and it's weird because we have to simplify things like that. We have to put ourselves in a linear construct so that we can understand it. But if you're outside of time and you have no bounds by a physical body, you do not have those same constructs. You are not held back by that. But then again, if we have no actual say in the matter, every knee will bow, and if that's going to be a thing and we have to do it, then do we really have any say in anything? Yet, God acts like we do, but yet we don't. So, if God's going to chastise me for not coming out in the plus side of a trial that he sent to me, well, whose fault is that? You can't put somebody in a situation where everything else looks like the norm, except for that one tiny little sliver. It's like, well, and then sit there and blame the person because, they went and did other stuff, and they were too preoccupied with themselves. Yeah, why not? How am I a bad person for doing that? Now, if I'm doing it at somebody else's expense, sure. I could see that being an issue, but, do I want the best stuff? Abso-freaking-lutely. And I'm almost disgusted by the fact that when you become a child of God, you don't win the lotto, you get freaking bullshit. They never tell you that at church. It's like, oh, it's the love of God and Jesus and blah, 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 blah. They never tell you, gee, you acknowledge God, God is going to fuck you over at every chance he can. Have you considered my servant Job today? I mean, seriously, he's basically going to fuck you at every chance he can. And I don't know. Like I said, they never tell you that at church. They never tell you that. That's like, that's like chapter 3 of like a 5-book way to do it. It starts off all flowery and you're a sinner and God loves you so much that he gave his only begotten son for you, blah blah blah, and whosoever believes will have salvation. Dun, dun, dun. And of course, well, I want to be saved, shit, why not? Little do you realize, the minute you do, you're going to get fucked over every step of the way. Not just one or two, every step of the way. Now, again, I'm not trying to sound blasphemous when I say this. I'm trying to be honest here. There's a difference, and I know a lot of people probably have the same thoughts, whether they want to acknowledge them or not. And I don't necessarily think they're a bad thing to discuss, but I don't know, God is a weird thing. It really is. That there's this being that created everything. Because, I mean, let's look at it logically. You got a being who created something, who created everything from nothing, essentially. But yet needs me to go and propagate the world for his glory, and go find other people who are willing to. But yet he elected us. And again, I think the election and the, did we accept Christ concept? I think the election happened, during the foundation of the existence. So God chose us before we were even a thing. And I think that choosing outside of time then became manifest by us accepting Christ in the time stream. I think that's how it plays out. Again, I could be wrong on that, but I don't know. I just think that's how it works. It was because if not, then it's a paradox, because were you elected or did you choose to accept God? I think our choice is because of the election. So God elected us first. We then, manifest that in the time stream as a thing. So I don't know. I think that's how it played out. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. Because there's really no other way to look at that. Because if what I'm saying is not true, then there's a problem. Because either God chose us or we chose God. Well, we know the first love concept, the first love parable idea, is that He first loved us. So He is our first love because He first loved us, not because we loved Him. So I don't know. But I suppose you could make the argument that He loved us, so we had to accept said love, thus getting saved, thus fulfilling in the time stream. I use the word time stream a lot, but fulfilling it in the natural, the physical of, the past already established idea. It's like, I don't know, it'd be like somebody going out buying Christmas gifts for their kids and then waiting for Christmas morning for it to happen. You've already bought it. You can visualize the kids' faces when they're like, I got Tonka trucks, or whatever. And then the little bastard opens it up and like, what the fuck's this shit? Little Johnny don't like playing Tonka trucks, whatever. Little Johnny getting his ass kicked. You don't like Tonka trucks, fuck you. Tonka trucks are awesome. Anyways. What else is there? I don't know, I'm tired. I don't feel like I explained myself very well in any of this today. I haven't made a clip in a while, so I wanted to do something. It's just like I said, I feel off, so I hope the clip was entertaining. Well, I don't know if it was or not. I'm just posting it anyway, so I'm posting it for views, but whatever, man. Anyways, you get a little bit of everything here. You got literally a near-death experience and spiritual talk about stupid shit. Oh, I'm tired. I'm really tired. But anyways. Oh! Oh God, Melanie! Oh God, I had my mouth open. Nene! Good night, boy.